taught my brother this. Everything he does shall prosper. Joel Anderson, my little bro, from some kind of mother. My little brother. I taught him about Jesus for all my life, to the point where he got annoyed often, several times anyway, if not often. I sent him his first Bible. It was John Hagee Prophecy Bible, and it was from our dad. It was my idea, but our dad bought it. I talked to him when Mom went nuts while he was there at the house without me. I told him to start a business. When he told me, no, I want my reward in heaven, because I said, you could be rich. Mom drives you like a workhorse. And he said, you could go and you could be rich. You can do anything. And when he said, I want my reward in heaven, I'm good with that. I said, but Joel, that's what I said. I said, if you're really believing and if you're really telling the truth and you're listening to the Bible every day and you're following the word in faith, then everything you do will prosper. And I quoted scriptures like King David when he said, many times had I fainted, had I not been for this hope that I would see the goodness of God in the land of the living. I spoke to him about, one of his arguments was friendship with this world is enmity with God, and you cannot serve both God and money. And I told him, but what about the things you could do with it to help people? We talked about the end times. A couple years later, when his business was failing, and he told me he was going to shut it down because he had to pay $100,000 in taxes. And I told him, register your business as a corporation, trust me. And he did, because I don't think I had ever steered him wrong. So I brought him to Jesus. I taught him and told him and encouraged him that he could do anything if he set his mind to it. I gave him good sound business advice that prospered him greatly. My brother started out living in my mom's spare bedroom a few years ago. We had that conversation the year that Evelyn was born. And 5 years later, he was rich. He sold the business a couple years ago for $5 million. He just bought his second home, a chalet with a private lake. He forgot about me. And I'm not talking, hold your horses there, don't jump the gun, judges. He forgot about me. I never asked him for anything, nothing ever. But when we lost our groceries and I asked him for the first time in my life to borrow $100, and I guess he assumed I was asking because he was rich or something, and he not only didn't do it, but he blocked me and still hasn't talked to me since then. He let me lose my kids over it. All he needed was a slight bit of, it wasn't even the money. Yes, I needed groceries. I got the grocery order refunded eventually. But my kids had been promised treats that morning. There's other variables to the situation, not to mention how scared a single mother is when something like that happens and you don't got a penny in the bank. I needed that $100, Joel. And I would have rather asked you if you were broke. You just happened to be rich, but you were my brother. I had a home invasion. I got raped. He got charged with sexual assault. Always got to add that. For some reason people think I'd lie about something that's serious. Lost my kids. Seen them 3 times in 9 months. And even more than the $100. You know what I needed even more? Is that when the Children's Aid called him, you, Joel, and asked about me, I needed a kind word about me. My worker told me what you said. You laughed at my dilemma You said I can't take care of Evelyn, but I will sure pay for her therapy, though. You made fun of me and mocked me, Joel. You followed me to where you are. You worked hard for it, you must have, except that now that I'm on the other side experiencing the same favor, I'm finding it hard to believe that you worked as hard as I thought you had. Because my God, does God shower blessings upon you once you receive it. Did this happen to you? Were you blessed up this quickly? Is that what happened? And you couldn't lend me $100 to literally save my life, my home, and my children. For 3 days at that. I only needed 3 days to pay it back. Never owed anyone money in my life that I didn't pay back. In fact, even my brother Adam, me and him got scammed a few years back. He, just as much as me, but he invested $500. I invested $1,500, but he invested $500. So I gave him $700 back from my settlement. You know, if it wasn't for my Lord God, if it wasn't for Jesus Christ, my friend, Joel, who I introduced you to, bud. You know, I know you believe. You're probably the only one. Out of anyone I met in my life, you're probably the only person, Joel, who actually believed me. And it worked, didn't it? Yeah, it did. But I have to call you to account. Joel Anderson, my brother, I'm calling you to account. I forgive you, I love you, but I am calling you to account. He who does not provide for his family or relatives, especially those of his own household, is worse than an unbeliever and has denied the faith. I really didn't want to ever have to say that, really. But I call you to account.